Hello and welcome to Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. We are doing the week of the 27th of March to the 2nd of April, 2023. Can you believe month 4 is upon us? We are in that week where everything shifts from March to April. I cannot actually believe we're month 4 already of 2023. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. So as always, on the table in front of me, I have two amazing, fabulous, wonderful decks. I am working with, the first deck we're working with this week is the Angel Guide Oracle by Kyle Gray. This is the deck that I chose first. I felt like this week I wanted to work with some angel energy, and Kyle Gray's deck is just one of my favorites as far as the angels go. So I thought that would be an amazing deck. Once I had taken it out and I saw that it had this really bright, vibrant orange background, I needed a tarot deck that matched the bright, bold orange background. So this is the Good Karma Tarot. The orange is not as orange. It actually looks a little bit more yellow against this one, but it's orange. So this is the Good Karma Tarot, which we will use just now. So I'm going to put it off to the side. We're going to start with the Angel Guide Oracle by Kyle Gray, and let's give it a shuffle. So my water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's have a look and see what is the general energy of the week ahead. What message do the angels have for each one of you for this week? What is the advice, the guidance, the inspiration that our angels can offer you for the week ahead? What do you need to know? What do you need to be aware of? And what do you need to be cautious or mindful of for the week ahead? All right, giving the cards a good shuffle, and let's cut the deck and pulling a card off the top. I will at this point say to you that when I recorded Earth and Air, those two readings for Earth signs and Air signs, they had exactly the same card come up. So I'm very curious to see what you've got. So water signs, you have got something different, right? But you do have compassion. Look how gorgeous she is. Look at that smile on her face. I mean, you know, I just look at her. First of all, she's got such a beautiful, strong, powerful aura about her. She doesn't look like she needs any confidence. She doesn't look like she's arrogant either. But it looks like she has such a heart of compassion. Look at the energy that she's giving off, the aura that she's giving off, these beautiful green wings that she has. But she's so powerful. I really get that she is so strong and so powerful. And I think this is quite interesting. Right, I'm going to shuffle the tarot while I'm chatting. This is quite interesting because let's just understand the word compassion for a second. So compassion is a feeling or an emotion we have about or towards a person who is going through something difficult. Okay, so if somebody else is suffering and we are trying to understand or trying to help or trying to ease or trying to be supportive, we generally have compassion for them, which means that we may not have been through that exact experience, but we can empathize, we can understand, and we can feel sympathy, we can feel an emotion towards them. But basically what we're doing by being compassionate is we're allowing the other person to feel. We're allowing the other person to have an emotion, to have a reaction, and to feel safe in that moment, in that space. So when I look at this particular card, and as I said, my first reaction when looking at her is power. Okay, if she didn't have that strong, powerful aura about her, I don't know if her compassion would be as beneficial or as welcoming or as fabulous. Okay, so compassion to me, in order to have compassion for another person, you have to be strong. You have to be strong for them in that moment. So when we have the angel of compassion connecting with our compassionate water signs, our emotional water signs, when we have the angel of compassion coming through, it could go one of two ways. Maybe she, the angel of compassion, is holding space for you while and being compassionate towards you while you are releasing emotion, or you are going to be the angel of compassion for somebody else, and you need to be strong, and you need to be brave, and you need to have a strong aura about you. Right, I have shuffled and cut the deck, so let's lay out some cards and see what is the message from the Angel of Compassion for all my water signs for the week ahead. So card number 1 that we have is the Four of Swords. Card number 2 that we have is the Strength card. Of course it is. I'm loving this. Card number 3 that we have is the Eight of Wands. We also have the Fool, and we also have the Page of Coins. All right, we are done with the tarot. I'm going to stick it aside. All right, so water signs, I'm quite excited about this. I really am quite excited about this particular reading for all of you, because I can just see where compassion is going to fit in. So just to break it down ever so slightly again, just a quick recap. Water signs are generally the emotional signs. You are the people who feel emotions first and foremost. Everything that you do is based on an emotional starting point, okay? Compassion comes second nature to you. You're always thinking about your emotions and the emotions of others around you. Sometimes that is a strength and sometimes that is a weakness. Now, I'm pointing out that sometimes that compassion can be a weakness, because what we often do is, when we're in our situation, when we're going through something, to make us feel better, we often look to see where compassion is needed to redirect our own energy so that we don't deal with our own stuff. Do you understand that? Okay. So as much as compassion is such an awesome quality or virtue to have, to be so compassionate and understanding and supportive and kind and considerate, etc., sometimes it can be your downfall, because it basically stops you from looking at your own self and growing, healing, and developing in the way that you need to. So let's start off with the first card that we have here, which is the Four of Swords. So when we look at the Four of Swords, she's sitting in what looks like quite a meditative pose, okay? So she looks like she's meditating, but how can she comfortably meditate and clear her mind and have that compassionate epiphany with herself when she's got all these swords lying right in front of her? Does that mean that even though she's, and I want to say pretending, even though she is pretending to be all zen-like and pretending to be also calm and tranquil and, you know, blah, 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 she is ready to use a knife to slice somebody open to achieve something that she wants to achieve for herself. So what I'm getting with all of this Four of Swords for you is, while you are doing nothing, you are ready to jump at a moment's notice, which means that you're not really paying attention to yourself. You're sitting there, you're doing the meditation, you're doing the yoga, you're doing the mindfulness exercise, but actually your ears are perked, waiting for somebody else to have a problem so you can jump into gear to help them, and thinking that that is a way of helping yourself. But so you're going through the motions of self-help, but you're not actually self-helping, right? I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you. We then have the Strength card, which, because this is normal behavior, this is typical normal behavior, right? We want to appear as if we are thoughtful, kind, compassionate, caring, considerate of everybody around us, but we don't do that for ourselves. And this is Spirit saying to you, water signs, that this week it's important that you actually start looking at your own personal strengths. It's important that you start having compassion for yourself and not just for others around you. Stop, and a word that I'm hearing so loud in my head is to stop deflecting. Stop deflecting. Stop pushing your problems aside to help others through their traumas, through their situations. Don't let compassion become your nemesis. The other thing that's quite interesting here, okay, so the Strength card is telling you to focus on your strengths, to focus on what it is that you actually can do, and how you can do it, but to also be strong enough for yourself that you actually make time to be compassionate for yourself. We then have the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is quite an interesting card, because here we have these sticks sort of flying through the sky, and she's sort of waving at them as she sees them go, knowing that their path is predetermined, knowing that what's going to be will be. The Eight of Wands is the card of change, and it's change that has already been effected, okay? It's already in motion, it's already in progress. She is smiling, she is happy, she is being compassionate as she waves and celebrates the change that is coming. Again, she is celebrating and being compassionate and enthusiastic and excited for change that is happening to and for somebody else. That's the way this artwork is coming at me. And water signs, you need to realize that we need to reverse that. You need to be this excited, this enthusiastic, and this eager, and this compassionate around the change that needs to happen within yourself, for yourself, by yourself. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Compassion for the self before compassion for anything or anyone else. Let's look at this Fool card. So the Fool card within the tarot system is the card of beginnings. It's the card of stepping into the unknown. It's the card of saying you don't necessarily have to know where, what, who, and how, but it is the card of progress, of movement. I love how she's got a little basket. She's got a little doggy in her basket. She's so focused on the flower that she has. She's so focused on this rose. At least I think it's a rose. I don't know if the camera's going to focus. I think it's a rose. She's so focused on that rose that she's not watching the road that she's walking on. And can you see that the road is looking a little bit uneven? So if she's not careful, if she's not cautious, she could trip up. She could trip and fall and hurt herself. But she's so focused on, again, something other than herself. Are you seeing a pattern here, water signs? Are you seeing a pattern here, water signs? She is so focused on taking care of her puppy dog, enjoying the beauty of the rose, but she's not paying attention to her surroundings. She is compassionate, kind, caring, and considerate of the rose, appreciative even of the rose, taking care of her dog, ensuring that her dog is safe and taken care of, but she's not taking care of herself. So she's sitting there. She looks like she's doing everything right, but in reality, she's not. She needs to be strong enough to put herself, her own needs, wants, and desires first. These two cards. And then our final card that we have for you, water signs. So here we have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have the Page of Coins. Now, we can see that he is outside of a university of some kind. All right. Look at how many books he is carrying. It is ridiculous. Like, can we just look at his eyes? Can you see he's looking at something or someone over there? And I can promise you that what he's looking at are all of his friends who are having just the best time of their lives. I wouldn't be surprised if half of these books that he's carrying actually belong to them and not to him. But he is the one who is always being compassionate for everybody else, and nobody is paying him any attention. So the message that I get from the Page of Coins, right? Page of Coins is about being very logical, about being very practical, about being very honest. Honest. So we have honesty here, we have honesty here, and we have honesty here. Because remember, we need to change the whole thing around, that you are being compassionate for yourself and not just for everybody else around you. We could also look at the Page of Coins as saying that he has all this knowledge that he still needs to go through, all these lessons, all these experiences, all these textbooks that he still needs to go through in order to have the understanding. And I think this is Spirit saying to you, we can speed up this whole learning process. If you're struggling at the moment, if everything is just all a little bit too much for you at the moment, we can speed up this whole process by you switching your compassion towards yourself and not only being focused on others. Even though you're going through all the motions, your heart is not in it. On the outside and what's happening on the inside are not the same thing. So water signs, interesting one for you this week. Very interesting. Excuse me. This is Spirit saying to you that this is the week for you to change the energy and to be a little bit more considerate, thoughtful, compassionate around the changes that need to happen in your life. Where are you moving to? Let's pay attention to the steps that we're taking. Let's realize how strong you are, but let's focus on the self and not always be so focused on everybody else. Compassion for the self, not for others. I'm going to leave it there, water signs, because I think that's just such a powerful message for you. I do hope that you understand it. I do hope that it speaks to your heart and soul. And I do hope that it helps you in the way forward. I do wish you an amazing week ahead, as always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, water signs.